Ho ho buddies, Monster Borderline Games, I'm Gareth, and today we're playing Danganronpa V3, Killing Harmony, and we're in the middle of the class trial. We just started the class trial, in fact, and so far, not much has been established apart from Angie must have been killed by one of the student council members, which we already knew before we went in, but let's carry on and find out what's going on in Danganronpa V3.
I was doing a bit to lead you to the right answer. Can't believe you actually got it.
Oh, how clever.
You can just ignore her, Gonta.
The remaining student council members are Gonta, Kibo, Samugi, and Himiko.
So, who's most likely to kill in those? Kibo? Gonta? Himiko? I don't know, I've still got my ideas on Himiko being the murderer. She knows both of them intimately, doesn't she?
She's with Angie.
It's true. Well, that could be why.
I trust their friendship. You guys do too, right?
It could be that Tenko killed Angie somehow. And then Himiko found out about it.
Yeah, of course.
Can we trust their friendship so readily?
Obviously. Let's believe in them.
Also, Kokichi had access as well.
That trims our list of suspects down to 3. Gonta, Samugi, and Kibo.
Yep.
Well, we're almost guaranteed.
One of those 3 people.
We're almost guaranteed to it not being those 3 then.
You mean one of those 2 people? Because a robot ain't people, Jack.
Alright.
I will let that remark slide. Anyway, aren't these accusations just a tad too hasty?
A little bit.
What else? The culprit should confess already. Gonta, Keyboy, or Samugi? Well,
No, not Gonta. Gonta would never kill Angie.
Yeah, Gonta's a gentleman. You shouldn't suspect either of us.
Hey, stick up for me too.
Gonta definitely not hurt anyone. Torture Gonta if you don't believe.
Torture might be a bit too far, but Gonta and I aren't the culprits.
And I'm not the culprit either. Jeez.
Gonta
not the
not
culprit.
culprit.
Not the culprit.
Alright. That's another one of these. Okay. Well, the lockpicking thing's going to be useful.
Surely there must be suspects
Gonta would
outside the
not
student
betray
council.
student council.
How do I get rid of that?
And do you have an alibi for last night?
A dead chick
Not just
can't be the
anyone can open
culprit.
that
Bug
door.
friends.
Why?
Only student council members had access.
Ah! J'accuse! Kokicho! Kokichi? Kokichi, right?
No, it wasn't just student council members that could have opened that lab door.
What was it you said earlier about Kyo opening the door, Shuichi? Unless you're a student council member, you can't enter Angie's lab, right?
I was referring to
How would they have left? I suppose they would have to have lockpicked.
but you could have. Because I saw you open the classroom lock by picking it.
Can you reverse picklock a lock? I guess you can. You can lock something by picklocking it. Kokichi pulled out some thin needles and stuck them into the keyhole of the lock. Click a click. Click a clack. Clack. There! Open sesame!
Oh, that happened? I totally forgot.
So you're going to pretend you don't remember, huh?
Quit glaring at me like that. Of course I remember. Yeah, I did it. I killed Angie.
Okay, well, Kokichi didn't do it then. Kokichi Omi?
Wait, what? What did you just say?
I picked the lock to her lab, snuck into the room, and then wham! Killed Angie.
Wham!
It was me, all along.
What?
What are you saying? Is this some kind of joke?
Nah, no joke. I thought that if I confessed, I could atone for my sins. And it helped. I feel so much better. Whew!
Wait, so Kokichi really is culprit?
Okay, we can close the case then.
He's lying. I think. Maybe?
He's lying. I'm certain of it.
No, definitely not a lie.
No.
I killed Angie. Shouldn't you guys believe the culprit when they confess?
Then let me ask you, culprit. How did you lock the room?
Huh? Well, it's the same as opening it. You pick the door closed from the outside.
No, that doesn't make sense.
Huh? What doesn't make sense? Can't you lock a door by picking it?
Maybe, but that's not how the culprit locked the room.
Oh, okay. They go when they went through the back door because of the gold leaf that they found on the bolt.
Yeah, Mumbles. Use your big boy voice and explain yourself.
There were 2 doors to the classroom, and the one locked last was...
Back door.
That's it!
I got it.
The back door. That's how they made this a locked room mystery.
The back door had a sliding lock, yes? How was it locked from the outside?
Hmm.
The culprit used a certain tool.
The tool that the culprit used to lock the sliding door from the outside was... Oh. Well, it must have been the katana, right? How do I do this again? Okay. Is there nothing around? Ah. Can I hit it here? Hmm. Cool.
I see it!
I got it. Complete.
The gold leaf katana that was stabbed into Kaede's effigy. The culprit used that to hit the knob of the sliding lock to lock the door.
So the gold leaf was on the sliding lock because...
Because when the katana hit the lock, some of the gold leaf rubbed off on it. The gold leaf on that katana did peel rather easily.
That evidence rings a bell. Specifically, a school bell.
Yeah, why is it here?
Are you talking about a different school? What school was it?
Hope Speak Academy.
Now, that doesn't matter anymore. Let's not dwell on the past.
Ooh, the gold leaf landed on the sliding lock when the katana touched it. So that means the culprit used the katana to move the sliding lock, right? But wait, how did they move it with the katana? And from outside Angie's lab?
The clue that might give us the answer is the layout of the area itself. It was an odd setup after all. The katana stabbed into the effigy. The effigies hung upside down.
Angie didn't do that as part of the ritual?
No. Nowhere in the Necronomicon did it say you had to hang the effigies.
I mean, that was weird. Why were they upside down? I guess...
If it was not part of the
Well, then why
ritual,
wouldn't...
then it must have been for a different purpose, right?
Why wouldn't we immediately be like, hey, why are they upside down? Why wouldn't that be immediately suspicious? A different purpose. What could that have been? The culprit somehow used the setup to lock the room. In that case, I need to know the reason behind every step of the setup. If I do that, the way the culprit locked the room should be clear. Oh, is it taxi time? Is it another taxi thing? Yes! How do I do this again? Okay. So... get these things. Ah, missed one. Oh, shit. Oops. Oh. Okay. What turned the handle of the sliding lock? Okay, it was the thinking time. Which side do I need to be on? The katana's held. Man, I love Danganronpa. Okay. Up. What was done to make the katana turn the lock? Okay. So it was either stuck into the effigy or whatever, right? Or was tampered with. I guess it must be this. Kaboom. Good. So then it must have been, like, span around? Well, how would you know that it would definitely do that? I guess you'd have to do it a couple of times if it didn't. Oh. Oops. How many more do we need? How is it manipulated? How was the effigy manipulated to make the katana affect the lock? Well, it was spun. Thinking time. Swinging it back and forth, making it fall, spinning it. Cool. I got it.
That's it. The reason the culprit stuck the katana into the effigy was so that it would hit the sliding lock as the effigy spun.
Effigy spun?
That's right. If you spun the effigy, the rope it was hanging from would twist. Then, if you let it go, the rope would unwind and the effigy would spin the other way. And of course, the katana would spin with it.
These Ultimate students are like borderline geniuses, aren't they?
See. So the culprit used the katana's counterspin to push the lock into place?
Who would do that?
The culprit simply needed to spin the effigy's rope and then swiftly leave. This would cause the spinning katana to hit the sliding lock,
Gonta wouldn't do that, I don't think.
and thus was the back door of an empty classroom.
It does sound like the kind of thing someone trying to prove that their magic would do, right?
Yes, that's how Angie's lab was locked. By using the effigy with the katana.
A plan born from the heart of a sword traveling through the air to intercept us. Oh, but could it have moved the slide lock so easily?
The sliding lock was pretty loose. A little push could move it. As long as the spinning katana hit the lock, it would have slid into position.
Even if the culprit failed the first couple times, they could keep trying until it locked.
Which is why the culprit chose to strike at nighttime, as to avoid detection.
Yes, since the student council prohibited anyone from walking around at nighttime.
Are you saying it's the student council's fault?
Yes, Hamiko.
I didn't say that.
You said that.
In any case, the culprit probably used the murder weapon for this trick. It had to have been the right length to hit the sliding lock from the effigy.
The culprit couldn't find a blade long enough in my lab, so they settled for the katana.
The other effigies were only hung up, so we think it was some kind of ceremony. That way, we wouldn't notice the lock trick.
I mean, it could be that it was Tenko trying to save Hamiko.
Kokichi did say earlier that he could have picked the lock closed. I don't want to completely ignore that possibility. But I can't imagine the culprit would have done all this just for a distraction.
If that's the case, then Kokichi's confession earlier was actually...
Seriously? You fucking lied again?
Cough it up, Kokichi!
Oh, man, you guys got me. Okay, I'm not the culprit.
I'm not the culprit.
Truth this time, right?
I want to say I'm lying, but I'm not.
Why did you say you were the culprit?
I
Fun.
wanted to lure the culprit out. If I claimed to be the culprit, then the real culprit would agree as well. You get me? And if they pressured me to confess, then that would have looked mighty suspicious. Sheesh. Darn it. It didn't go my way because Shuichi butted in on my plan.
You and your fucking lies.
He just likes lying. It's nothing to do with that.
Yourself.
Okay.
All right,
I'll
Mio.
start right now.
All right. So, who's the asshole who set up this locked room mystery?
Mew, I can't hold it up anymore.
What's the matter? You going soft on me now?
Okay.
Who made the locked room mystery doesn't matter since anyone could have done it.
Did they?
Don't you even understand something as basic as that, you filthy cum dumpster?
Cum dumpster! Finally! Someone finally called me a cum dumpster!
I don't know how I'm supposed to feel about that.
Talk about now.
We must focus not on the locked room, but on who entered Angie's lab. Only one of the student council members or Kokichi could have gained entry. Therefore, the culprit must be among their number.
There was also that weird moment with Mio and Kiba. I wonder if that's relevant somehow.
That leaves us with 4 suspects. Sumugi, Gonta, Kibo...
I mean, I guess it's relevant because didn't Mio give Kibo that torch ability?
Don't forget Himiko. She's also a part of the student council. Doesn't matter if she was besties with Angie, she's still a suspect.
That contradicts what you said earlier, which I can prove using my recording function.
It's fine. That's just a waste of time.
Me? A suspect? Never kill Angie!
So,
Ooh.
calling all suspects, what should we discuss
Specifically, Angie. Yeah?
next? I want to hear everyone's opinion. What would you say to get yourself off the suspect list?
Why are you trying to lead the debate? You're a suspect too.
Silence, outsider. Only the suspect rangers are allowed to speak.
Suspect rangers?
I agree. Those under suspicion should explain themselves thoroughly.
So who have we got?
I'd catch them with their pants down.
Anyway, I want to ask the suspect rangers. What should we talk about? What should we say to get ourselves off the suspect list? Well, guys, I want to hear what you think.
That's sort of a difficult question, you know?
Gonta not smart enough to know answer to that.
Yes, it is difficult to formulate a logical response to that question.
Not articulate with words, huh? Don't you guys want to prove your innocence?
They don't trust you one bit, and I don't blame them. You're probably plotting.
Why did Tenko have to die?
No.
I want to know what happened to Angie too, but can we talk about Tenko's case now and not just Angie?
I got you exactly where I wanted, Himiko.
What do you mean?
The two victims could have been killed by two separate murderers, you know. So we need to find the first Blackened responsible for the first victim. We've got to figure out who killed Angie. Until we solve Angie's case, Tenko's case is meaningless. Did you suggest that to waste our time?
It's not meaningless!
Oh. Himiko.
Tenko's death was meaningless? How dare you! Poor Tenko! How could you do this to her? Himiko.
Maybe it wasn't Himiko. She's very convincing.
Himiko, stop it with your crappy lies.
Lies?
Everything you said is total BS. You didn't give two shits about Tenko when she was alive. But now you're like, oh no, poor Tenko, after she's dead. Come on, really?
Kokichi, enough!
No. It's okay. It's no surprise he'd think that. I know I ignored Tenko before. That's why I'm so upset now.
You don't know what you've got until it's gone.
I should have faced Tenko. Worked things out with her while she was still alive. But now, it's too late. I can't complain to her or thank her. It's too late.
Yeah, seriously. It's way too late to realize that now.
Let's not talk about it.
Our only option is to face her death head on.
Yeah. Face her death?
Himiko, I understand what you're going through. So I'm gonna help you out. Let's work together to find the truth. I'm not gonna let anyone say her death didn't matter.
Kaito.
He's a good boy.
Alright. I'll put a silencing curse on whoever calls Tenko's death meaningless.
Curse!
The name of the curse is Death Curse. I suppose being dead.
Surprised Kaito didn't have a reaction to that.
Listen up! All you guys are gonna help out too. Abandoning someone who died and only thinking about your own survival. That's just as bad as a hit and run. I won't forgive something so messed up.
Tenko was our friend. Gonta wanna know why she died too.
I already told you that's so unnecessary. We're getting sidetracked here.
No, even if it was a different culprit, we need to know how Tenko died. If we don't find out who killed her, we won't be able to work together. Not now, not ever.
I guess we're focusing on
Even
that
if this
first.
trial isn't for her. In
Makes
order
sense
for
to
us
do that
survive,
first, seeing as the Blacken's going to be punished at the end of this trial. You probably want to focus on Tenko first.
we need to get to the bottom of Tenko's death. Not just to survive this trial, but so we can keep going and live on!
Kaito.
Finally, you noticed. Jeez, you're so slow.
Huh? Did Kokichi want us to notice?
Don't listen to his crap. We haven't decided whether there were two different culprits yet.
Let us talk about Tenko's case then. Perhaps that will provide us a clue.
Yeah, maybe.
I've not had to do any input for ages. They're not wrong, but I don't mind going over Tenko's case. But that was an abrupt change of topic. Was that intentional?
So, what do we talk about first?
For now, let's see if we can narrow down the list of suspects.
Tancrouch probably got killed during the seance, so everyone there's suspicious.
True.
Tancrouch!
That is just funny. The people who attended the seance. Oh, I'm going to do something. Kurikyo, Shirichi, Amiko, Kokichi. Yes, right?
That's it!
I got it!
It was me, Kyo, Himiko, and Kokichi.
So those 4 are the culprits!
Oh, Himiko's still culprit?
Well, that's probably just a coinkydink. The most suspicious out of the 4 is really Kyo. He suggested the whole seance idea.
True.
True, I may have suggested it, but I explained the procedure beforehand, yes? If we all knew of
Is it possible it was Kibo?
Are all equally suspicious.
Well, I suppose, but...
Kibo was kicked out. He could have gone under the floorboards. He probably would have seen the hole.
In addition, the seance wasn't entirely in my control either. I was not the one who selected the room we performed it in. It was Himiko.
However, there are 3 empty rooms. Which one shall we use? The middle one. The middle room's always best for stuff like this. Very well. I shall begin the preparations at once.
Oh, right.
Also, we should not limit our suspects to only those who participated in the seance. The empty room had a point of entry from outside, you see.
A point of entry from outside. He must be referring to... over here, right?
There!
I got it!
You're talking about under the floor, right?
Huh? Under the floor?
Under the floor. Under the floor.
Space under the floor a person could move through. There was also a hole that connected it to the neighboring room.
But not the other one.
Use the hole. They could have entered and exited the seance room.
If we consider that possibility, then there is another suspect.
Another suspect? Who?
It's appearing before me. Oh, I can see it clearly. The true identity of Tenko's killer. The culprit sneaked in during the seance
Yes.
by crawling under the floor.
Flashlight function.
During the seance.
Maybe.
How could they even see if they were under the floor?
Because it wasn't dark under the floor. You see, our villain had a light.
You mean candle?
I mean, Kibo's flashlight function.
Huh? Now hold on a second.
Keep
me hear him out.
function to get under the floor and sneak into the empty room during the seance.
I said hold on a second.
He used his robot functions to commit the murders.
Hold on a second.
It's true that with a little light you could move around under the floor. Is that possible?
The culprit sneaked in during
Well, there's a hole in the floor, so we'd see it, right?
by crawling under the floor.
But it was pitch black during the seance. How could they even see if they were under the floor?
Because it wasn't dark under the floor. You see, our villain had a light.
J'accuse, Kyo.
I don't think the culprit could have used a light while under the floor. There was a hole in the corner of the room. If a light were used, it would have leaked through and we would have seen it.
Yeah.
But when we did the seance, the room was definitely pitch black.
So a light was not shined under the floor, which means you cannot claim I am the culprit.
Jeez, here I thought this would be the case where the murder could only be done by a robot.
You accuse me of being the culprit more than once now, simply because I am a robot. My status as a robot does not mean I am capable of performing superhuman feats. My vision is somewhat poor, and I only possess average physical strength and intelligence.
All right, you made your point. God, now I feel sort of bad for you.
I neither want nor need your pity.
Enough with the flashlight! It's way too bright!
It would have been difficult to move around under the floor in that pitch black darkness. Maybe the floor and the hole have nothing to do with this case.
Oh, that's interesting. Okay, well, we've seemed to have proved Kibo's innocence, maybe. So does that mean that someone's definitely the culprit is definitely in the seance room, or was one of the people in the room at the time? I guess find out that and more next time on Borderline Games. Thank you so much for watching this episode of Danganronpa V3 Killing Harmony, and I'll see you next time. Have a good evening. Bye bye.